Hey everyone, welcome to the Human Factor. May is Mental Health Month, and it's something that's really heavily overlooked. So I hope you enjoy this episode. It was a Thursday afternoon, and I was sitting in my office at the bank I worked at. I was wearing my favorite blue suit, leaning back in a plush chair behind my desk while staring through the glass window into the lobby outside. It was one of those beautiful Florida afternoons where the sunlight almost feels alive, bright skies, and perfect beach weather. There were palm trees outside moving slowly in the wind while people walked past the bank carrying iced coffees and shopping bags, completely absorbed in their normal lives. Everything about the day felt peaceful. It was predictable and ordinary. I was waiting for a client who was running late when I noticed a woman standing alone in the middle of the lobby. She looked to be in her mid 50s, and there was something about her that immediately caught my attention, but not in some dramatic, obvious way. She wasn't frantic or anything. She just looked emotionally disconnected from where she physically was. Like her body had entered the bank, but her mind was somewhere very far away. My position didn't require me to help people walking into the lobby or standing at the teller desk, but for some reason, I opened my office door and I asked if she needed help. To this day, I still don't know why I did it. Something inside me just felt pulled towards her. She followed me into my office and sat across from me while I asked what I could do for her. She spoke softly and carefully, almost like she was trying to keep herself emotionally together in front of a stranger. She told me she needed to withdraw money, so I handed her a withdrawal slip and I helped her fill it out. I remember glancing down at the amount and thinking to myself that it was an oddly specific number, $356.49 exactly. Something about that number stayed in my head. It just didn't feel random. It felt exact and intentional. But at the time, I didn't really think much more of it. So as we sat there, I started making conversation with her. Nothing life-changing or profound, just simple human conversation. I asked her how her day was going. I asked if she wanted coffee. I asked her if she had any plans for the weekend. Just a normal interaction between two people. And while we were talking, I noticed my manager outside of my office gesturing through the glass that my scheduled client had finally arrived. I should have ended the conversation right there. Professionally, that's what I was supposed to do. But something inside me told me not to rush her. So I ignored my manager and stayed in the conversation just a little bit longer. Right before I processed the withdrawal slip, I looked at her and I asked if there was anything else she needed from me. She paused for a few seconds before answering. Then she looked up at me softly and said, "No, I changed my mind. I think I'm okay." So she thanked me for conversing with her. She stood up slowly and she walked towards the office door. Then right before leaving, she turned around and she smiled at me. And to this day, I still remember that smile because there was something about it that I couldn't really explain at the time. It wasn't excitement or fake politeness. It felt really peaceful, deeply peaceful, like somebody had stopped drowning for a moment. So I smiled back and she walked out of the bank and I continued with the rest of my day. Over the next few months, she kept coming back to the bank just to visit me. Every time she came, she brought me homemade desserts, cookies, brownies, cakes, banana bread, little containers full of sweets she made because she knew I liked desserts. My coworkers used to joke that I had my own personal baker. And honestly, I always wondered why she cared so much about bringing me things. But I never asked her. I just accepted the kindness and enjoyed seeing her smile every time that she walked into the branch. A couple of months passed by, and one day I got an email from corporate, and I found out that I was being transferred out of state for work. And soon after, she found out as well. So on my last day at the branch, she came in carrying a goodbye basket full of desserts and a handwritten card. Before leaving, she asked me not to read the card until I got settled into my new city. I promised her that I wouldn't. We said our goodbyes and off she went. A few weeks later, after unpacking the boxes in my new place, I found the card sitting at the bottom of one of them. I remember sitting down on the edge of my bed opening it casually, expecting some kind of kind word or maybe a light thank you note. But instead, the letter completely changed me. And word for word, this is what she wrote. Vincent, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. When we first met, I was an alcoholic going through a divorce. My children wanted nothing to do with me, and I cried myself to sleep a lot on lonely nights. At that time, I felt life was more like a burden than anything else. I came into the bank that day to withdraw $356.49 because it was the exact cost of the gun I planned to buy to kill myself with that night. You didn't know it at the time, but you saved my life. Your kindness, your smile, and your willingness to sit and talk to a stranger changed the course of my life forever. I am now 4 months sober, my children and I are speaking again, and I am leaving a physically abusive relationship. I knew I wouldn't be able to say this to you in person without crying, but if I could hug you forever, I would. Please never change. And if my story can ever help someone else, please share it. I love you. Your friend. I remember just sitting there frozen, staring at the letter in complete silence because suddenly that entire day replayed differently inside my head. The exact withdrawal amount, the strange calmness in her eyes, the smile before she walked out of my office. And what hit me hardest was realizing how close another human being had been to disappearing forever, while the entire world around her continued on its regularly planned schedule. That normal Thursday afternoon, cars were driving past the bank, people were laughing outside, friends were making dinner plans. Somebody somewhere was probably falling in love for the first time. And at that exact same moment, another human being was deciding whether or not to continue existing. That realization never left me, because the truth is, most suffering is invisible. Some people become unbelievably skilled at hiding pain. They still go to work every day. They still answer texts, still laugh at the right moments. They still tell everybody they're okay or just fine. Maybe they're even just saying they're just tired. Meanwhile, internally, they feel completely detached from themselves. And I think one of the loneliest experiences a human being can have is silently drowning emotionally while pretending everything's okay, because you don't want to burden anyone else with your pain. There are people listening to this right now who know exactly what that feels like. People who feel emotionally exhausted in ways they can't fully explain. People who wake up every single morning already mentally drained before the day even begins. People who have mastered the art of functioning while secretly falling apart internally. Because depression doesn't always look dramatic in real life. Sometimes depression looks like somebody showing up to work every day while feeling emotionally numb. Sometimes it looks like isolation. It looks like laying awake at night staring at the ceiling trying to understand why life stopped feeling real to you. Sometimes it looks like disconnecting from the things you once loved until even your own existence starts feeling distant. And I think modern life has made this worse in ways people don't talk about enough. Everyone's connected constantly now, yet so many people feel emotionally abandoned. We scroll endlessly through other people's happiness while internally questioning our own worth. We compare our lowest moments to everybody else's highlight reels until eventually people begin feeling like they're failing at life itself, like everybody else understands how to exist except for them. And loneliness has a way of distorting reality when it lasts long enough. It whispers dangerous things into people's ears. It whispers dangerous things into people's minds. It convinces people they are burdens instead of human beings worthy of love. It convinces people that nobody truly would care if they disappeared. But what that woman taught me is that human beings often matter to other people in ways they never fully understand. Having a conversation matters. Being kind matters. Our presence matters. And listening matters. You never know how close somebody is to giving up. And maybe that's why this story stayed with me so deeply after all these years. Because if I had just acted professionally that day and rushed her out of my office to get to my next appointment, there's a real possibility she wouldn't be alive today. And that thought still shakes me. I don't think I saved somebody like some kind of superhero, but I think I revealed something terrifying and beautiful about being human at the same time. Sometimes people don't need a perfect solution. Sometimes they just need a moment where they feel seen again. A moment where somebody looks at them in the eyes and treats them like they matter. My philosophy is that human beings underestimate how much emotional weight we carry for each other unknowingly. There are people whose lives feel safer because you exist. People who feel less alone because you answer the phone when they call. People who carry memories of you that mean more to them than you can possibly imagine. And sometimes when someone loses the ability to see value in themselves, they also lose the ability to see how deeply woven they are into the emotional structure of other people's lives. There are people listening to this episode right now who feel tired in a way that doesn't get fixed by sleep. People carrying anxiety and trauma, addiction, grief, heartbreak, loneliness, depression, emotional exhaustion, or thoughts they're too terrified to say out loud because they don't want to be a burden on anyone else and they don't want people looking at them differently afterwards. And if that's you, I need you to listen carefully right now. The way you feel today is not the way that you will always feel. I know pain can be convincing. I know hopelessness can feel permanent while you're inside of it. But emotions change. Your circumstances change. And healing happens slowly sometimes, but it does happen. Human beings reconnect. Life surprises people. Light returns to places that once felt emotionally dead forever. And depression lies to people. That's what makes it so dangerous. It convinces people that the way they feel in one painful chapter represents the rest of their life story. It convinces people that their absence would change nothing, while there are human beings whose lives would never emotionally recover from losing them. So if you're listening to this right now and you're struggling mentally, please talk to somebody. Whether that's a friend, a parent, a sibling, a therapist, just anybody. You don't have to carry all of this alone. And if you're in the United States or Canada and you need immediate support, you can call or text 988. It's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, and you can call them anytime, day or night, for help. And if nobody told you recently, I'm really glad that you're still here. I truly mean that. The world wouldn't be the same without you in it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you enjoyed the content, please like, subscribe, and share with someone you think would benefit from it. Mental health is even more important than our physical health. We can't see it when someone else is going through something that's overwhelming, so please be kind and helpful in those delicate situations. As I close out this episode, remember to live your life like nobody's watching and smile like someone is. I'll see you on the next one.